This is Next 5 Minutes, the B-Sides. Today's title, You Can Find Opportunity in Dry Places. But what is a dry place? A dry place is a seemingly impossible situation. But dry places are not devoid of opportunity. They are just not obvious to us. I once saw a TV show where a man was flying a plane over the desert and crashed. He broke both his legs and his pelvis. He had to climb out of the burning wreckage of his plane, leaving his radio behind. And when he came to rest, he realized that his feet were swelling and he needed to take his boots off. In his current condition, he could not do this for himself. He looked around and he found a small tree branch, which he used to untie his laces and eventually take his boots off. He literally found an opportunity in his dry place. Now, it's obvious that he used his sight to assess his situation, but he also used his vision to see beyond it. Listen to me. If your sight and your vision are equally matched, you will remain in a dry place. So what happened to this man? With his vision, he saw opportunity inside of himself. This is where opportunity starts. In a dry place, water represents opportunity. And we know that water seeks its own level. And so, this man leveled the opportunity inside of himself with the opportunity outside of himself. And how many of us are in a dry place? Label it whatever you want. Difficult relationship, difficult workplace, high debt, whatever. Today I bring you to a dry place in order to explain to you a dry place. Upon further examination of this topic, we will review the two types of dry places. One is situational and the other is conditional. In the wreckage that was the crash, the man saw his dry place as situational. Now, had he given in to his dry place and made up his mind that this was a hopeless situation, then this would have become a conditional dry place for him. And it's only now that I'm telling you that he was bleeding out, dehydrated, exposed to the sun, and at times had to ward off predatory animals that came to visit with him. Situational dry places are outside of us and conditional dry places are inside of us. By contrast, another man, let's call him a certain man. He lived a nondescript life. He was born thirsty and he died thirsty. All his life he thought that he was in a dry place, never realizing that he himself was the dry place. A certain man died the way he lived, dry. If we become a dry place, our thinking can become fixed to that dry place. Notice, I did not say the wrong place. You decide if it is right or wrong. If your thinking preserves your position in a dry place, listen to this. Soil in some parts of the world can be so dry that it is hydrophobic. Hydro meaning water and phobic meaning fear. This soil would repel water rather than receive it because there is no organic material to retain the water. Organic material, no life, no opportunity. And of course, this makes for a more conducive environment to preserve things, like pyramids or mummies, you understand. And yes, even conditional thinking. So people can be hydrophobic too. For the purposes of this session, averse to opportunities found in dry places due to their own thinking or their own conditioning. Have you ever rejected good advice because it came from the wrong person? And have you ever stayed the course knowing it wasn't the best thing to do, hoping that some other person would come along to offer different good advice so you didn't have to attribute your success to the wrong person? Maybe we followed advice from the wrong person, but we were discreet about it because we didn't want them to find out. That's just bad thinking. Even a conditional thinker thinks that they have a good reason to make a bad decision. No matter situational or conditional, dry places are not a prison or a punishment. While we cannot always choose what we take going into them, we can choose what we take out of them. The dry place experience is not something we pass on, but the lessons learned there are. A harsh experience would not make us a harsh teacher or a harsh leader. No, in fact, the opposite. Dry places make for practical classrooms. Take COVID-19. It's a virus. It's not alive. It has no consciousness. For all intents and purposes, this world should be a dry place for COVID-19. If we covered up and adhered to social distancing sooner, we may have been able to mitigate the threat sooner. But COVID-19 has proved to be elusive, as if it were alive and strategizing against us, like it doesn't see its dry place as conditional. It's mutating. It's not giving up. Yet there are still people walking around saying, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not social distancing. I'm not taking a vaccination. Oh, well, if I die from COVID-19, it was my time to go. I don't judge these people, but I do question their judgment. How can we not take every opportunity to preserve our lives or the lives of others in a dry place? The whole point of situational thinking is to preserve yourself in a dry place, not to preserve your thinking that keeps you in the dry place. This is a case where sight matches vision. I mean, how many people would go when they cannot see? Approximately 60% of our bodies is made of water. I call it opportunity. And over 70% of the surface of the earth is covered in water. That's a great ratio for opportunity. Now, I could have been called a certain man not long ago in my life. I was nondescript. I stood on the sidelines offering my opinions. I complained, yet I did nothing. But when opportunity began to flow within me, some of my relationships dried up. Their conditional thinking about me did not match my situational thinking about myself. Maybe some people were okay with me being a dry place. Now, if you have a similar situation, but you think there is opportunity within you and opportunity within the relationship, and you're waiting for them to leave their conditional thinking in favor of your situational thinking and call you to say they got it wrong, I don't know. They say a watch phone doesn't ring and a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Well, opportunity, like a virus, does not make itself, nor does it choose to work with you or work for you, but it does need a host. What are you waiting for? If you think there is opportunity, open your phone, open your mouth, and make a call. Until recently, I thought I was special because I had so many subscribers from India. I've since learned that India as a nation is one of the largest consumers of YouTube videos. Well, I still feel a special connection to them. And my thoughts and prayers go out to them during this terrible time that they're having with COVID-19. I hope they recover soon. I'm Abrams. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next 5 minutes. The B-Sides.